In this video, we're going to do an example problem that has to do with exponential growth. And this specific example has to do with the number of fish in a certain lake. So it says the number of fish in a certain large lake has increased exponentially in recent years. The number of fish in millions in this lake can be approximated by this function. F of x equals 1.52 times e to the 0.31x. Okay, now where x is between 0 and 9, and x equals 0 corresponds to the year 2000. So x equals 1 would correspond to the year 2001, x equals 2 would be 2002, and so forth. Okay, and the question is, what was the approximate number of fish in this lake in the year 2000? And also in the year 2009. And it says round to the nearest 1,000 fish as needed. Okay, so when we're trying to find the number of fish in the year 2000, really what we're trying to find is f of 0, because 0 corresponds to 2000. So when we plug this in, we get 1.52 times e to the 0.31 times 0, right? We're plugging in 0 for x. Now, in fact, if you're looking at this, if you're a little bit clever, you might be able to figure this out in your head. But let's try typing this on our calculator. How would we actually plug this into a calculator? So we would put in 1.52 times e. Now, how do we put e? Well, notice this blue button up here right above the ln. Okay, it's not even a button, it's just in blue above this ln button. It says e to the x. So we're going to hit second ln. That will give us an e. Okay, now sometimes when calculators, when they give you an e, instead of putting a little box up here, it'll give a little caret with a parenthesis, and so you have to plug what goes in to the top part and then end the parenthesis. But this calculator, it puts it up here, so we're going to plug in 0.31, okay, or just 0.31, same thing, times 0. And again, if your calculator had a caret, you'd have to end the parenthesis here, and then hit enter, and notice we get 1.52. Right? Well, that number looks familiar, right? In fact, we could have seen right away this was going to be 1.52. How do we know that? Well, because 0 times anything is just 0. 0 times 0.31 would be 0. And then e to the 0 is going to be 1, right? Anything to the 0 power is 1. And so we'd have 1 times 1.52, that's 1.52. So what does this mean? There are 1.52 fish in the year 2000? Now, remember, this was the number of fish in millions. Okay, so what we can say is there are 1.52 million fish. Okay, and in fact, let's write this out. That means there's 1,520,000 fish in the year 2000. Okay, now how many fish are there in the year 2009? Okay, well, we need to find f of 9, because x equals 9 is going to correspond to the year 2009. So let's plug it in. We're going to have 1.52 times e to the 0.31 times 9. Okay, what is that equal to? So let's plug this in our calculator. We have 1.52 times e, so second ln, to the 0.31, or 0.31, same thing, times 9, and again you would end your parenthesis if you had a different kind of calculator. Hit the button, we get 24.7471501. Okay, 24.7471501. So again, what this means is that there are 24.7471501 million fish, okay, in the year 2009. Or another way to write this would be there's 24,747,150.1 fish. Now that seems kind of weird, right? That's a little bit too precise. In fact, you can't have 0.1 of a fish, right? Well, what did it say up here? It said round to the nearest 1,000. Okay, so we're being a little too precise. So what we can say is that this is approximately equal to 24,747,000. Okay, so this is the number of fish in the year 2009.